Hi everybody, this is Amanda Gifford from Johannesburg. I'm a psychologist. I majored in drama therapy overseas and I'm a registered arts therapist here in Johannesburg. I've got a private practice at Naturally Yours in Bryanston, and I've decided to try and do video clips about my practice and about areas in my practice and things, tips and tools and thoughts, things that are coming up that are interesting in my life, just to start sharing a little bit about my work and see if there might be questions or things that I can share with you. So one of the things is that this week I found an interesting piece on healing codependence, which I thought was quite an interesting topic to maybe share with all of you. So because I'm really new to doing these videos, I thought I'd just do what I can to just share bits and pieces that are there and interesting, and hopefully I can get a bit more of an interactive relationship with all of you. And if you've got questions that you'd like to ask, I can see if I can answer them. So codependence is an interesting area to work on, and here there's a little list of what you can, if you find yourself being codependent, this is some of the behaviors that you might find. So that you think and feel responsible for other people, that you feel compelled to help others solve problems, offering advice and suggestions all the time, to anticipate other people's needs and wonder why others don't do the same in return, say yes when you mean no, and do things that you really don't want to be doing, to do more than your fair share of work and do things that other people can do for themselves, to try and please others before seeking to please yourself, to feel safe when giving to others and insecure and guilty when you give to yourself, to feel sad because you spend your whole life giving to others and nobody gives back to you, to feel attracted to needy people and attracted to them in dependent ways. I get bored and feel empty if there's not a crisis, a problem to solve or someone to help, to overcommit yourself and feel controlled by events and people, to believe deep inside that other people are somehow responsible for me, to try to control events and people through helplessness, guilt, coercion, advice, and manipulation, to pretend circumstances aren't as bad as they are and that things will be better tomorrow, to stay busy so that you don't have to think about things, to get confused, depressed, or sick, to stop doing things. I have become a workaholic. So becoming a workaholic is a form of codependence. Sometimes thinking that God has abandoned you, not feeling happy, content, or peaceful with yourself, desperately seeking love and approval in various addictive ways, finding love, equating love with pain, and staying in relationships that don't work, finding it difficult to have fun and be spontaneous, saying everything is your fault and yet believing nothing is your fault, spending money compulsively, overeating, abuse, sex, drugs, or alcohol, lying to cover up, protecting people you love, and lie to protect yourself, and not trusting people, your feelings, your decisions, or other people, to lie to cover up and protect people you love. Sorry, I already said that one. Ask people for what I want and need indirectly, as in sighing or subtly suggesting, so passive-aggressive behavior, never asking directly for something. To be afraid of your own anger or frightened of other people's anger. You're extremely responsible, too responsible, a good martyr, taking responsibility away from other people, sacrificing your own happiness for others. And I don't know what I mean, and I don't mean what I say. I don't say what I mean, and I don't mean what I say. Don't even know what I mean. and I've become withdrawn and isolated, or I'm afraid of being hurt by others. I give the appearance of being depended upon, but I'm dependent on others for approval. So that's quite an interesting list that I'm sure we can all relate to in some way or other. I certainly can. I've definitely been healing my own codependence in various different relationships at different times. And I think it's a really good list to look at to see how many of those you can identify as yours and which you'd like to start working on. So they've got here a little list of recovery and how you can start identifying how to work on healing your codependence or breaking the patterns. So the recovery list is: I am capable of being fully self-supported economically, so supporting yourself financially. That's number one. I thought that was really fascinating. Number two, I accept my human worth and have a right to be approached with respect. I accept myself and attempt not to experience unnecessary guilt. I accept the right to make my own choices and take responsibility for them. I accept my lack of omnipotence or omnipotence and the right to make mistakes. I accept and enjoy being a human being. I admit that I can slip into depression and codependence roles at times. I know what activities and things make me feel better, and I take responsibility to see that I do them. I strive towards being emotionally honest with myself and with others. I feel unfairly treated and I assert myself. If others behave abusively towards them, I become proactive and take appropriate steps to end the abuse or to end the relationship if necessary. Either a win-win relationship or no relationship at all. Whenever I start to blame someone else or circumstances, I look to myself to see what contribution I've made to the problem that I'm experiencing. If I'm unhappy in my relationship, I communicate my needs, feelings, and concerns to my partner honestly. I express an openness to understanding his or her point of view and a flexibility in modifying my behavior if necessary. I expect similar commitment from him or her. In sexual interactions, I let my partner know what pleases me. I don't have to please someone else if it's against my will. I can make decisions concerning major issues in my life and will seek advice if necessary. If my life seems to need meaning, I take charge of exploring spiritual answers to life's questions through reading or attending meaningful gatherings or workshops. Or I choose to get involved with some form of social action. So that's an interesting list about what are codependent behaviors or patterns that you might identify in your own life, and a list of how to begin to work on them. So if that rings a bell for you and you can find some areas of codependence that you'd like to work on or break those patterns, let me know. I'd be happy to help you work on them. And just want to acknowledge that I got this from a lovely therapist at a recovery center called Sharp Recovery Center, and she allowed me to use it. She runs wonderful cognitive behavioral workshops there, so that's very nice of her. Thank you. So that's a little tidbit about healing codependence for today. Just trying to think if there's anything else that's important to touch on about this week. I think I'll do another clip soon. Somebody asked me about long distance constellations and how that works, but perhaps I'll do a separate piece on that. So that's for today. So please come and join in, come and do a session with me if you're interested in breaking those codependent patterns and starting to work on your own recovery towards independence. And we've got weekly and monthly constellations that work on all those kinds of healing the trauma of addiction patterns that lead to codependence. Codependence is a kind of addiction. So that's it, I think, for this week. Thanks very much for listening. And if you've got questions, please let me know. And I'd be happy to answer you at another time in another video. Thanks, everybody. If you want to get hold of me, you can email me, amanda@geniuslab.co.za. Phone 078 499 6472, or go to my website amandagifford.co.za. Otherwise, you can find me here at Naturally Yours in Bryanston above the Willita Centre. Bye, have a good week.